We are going live. Dun, dun. Today's show is brought to you by Fruit Loops. Make sure to eat your Fruit Loops with a balanced breakfast. Is it balanced breakfast? Is that what it is?
Balanced breakfast. Yeah.
That don't sound right.
It's balanced breakfast.
Okay.
They want you to eat that sugary ass cereal. They want you to have like toast and sausage. They want you to balance that shit because they know that it's a candy bar with milk in it that you're eating. So
Have you
I ate
ever...
Fruit Loops last night for dessert.
That just reminded me. Do you remember like good Saturday morning cartoons and why they like failed?
Hell yeah.
And like
Hell yeah.
the restrictions they had for them, like they're like, all right, you could do your like whatever you want in this block to this block, but you have to put a half hour of educational block here to counterbalance 2 hours of this. So
right.
like, because I guess at one point ABC had the market on good cartoons because they would do like their whole morning block would just be whatever they wanted, and then they would pay Disney or it was someone else like Muppets or something like that to take over their own block. Like,
yeah, because ABC eventually started running Disney's one Saturday morning, where they had Pepper Ann, Doug, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, which was rad, and nobody talks about it, and it was so good.
I watched something, I can't remember what it was, but that was the whole point on why they started getting anime. Is because they could say it was educational because it was from a different country. Yeah,
and then they could take it, and they didn't have to animate it, and then they could redub over it with whatever they wanted, basically.
Whatever they wanted, yep.
That's like, I have notes here. I have talking point notes here. And one of the shows on here is specifically for what we just said. And it's a show... You ever heard of an anime called Escaflowne?
Sounds familiar.
It's pretty dang good if you watch the sub that was re-released a few years ago. When it's about... I can't remember exactly what it's about. I literally brought it on here to talk about how bad dubs could be. And the main character's female. And all the hullabaloo going on. But when they dubbed it and brought it to America and put it on Saturday mornings, they made the male side character the main character. But he doesn't do anything. The girl does everything. But they tried to make it about him. And I was like, what?
We should have an episode just talking about Saturday morning cartoons.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. That would be good.
I'm absolutely down for it. Because I got a lot of like American cartoons that nobody talks about.
You're trying to play it cool that you have a Robin coffee cup?
I got to take the cape off of it because it's hard to drink.
Yeah, I was going to say, this seems a little bit uncomfortable. I have Batman socks that go to my knees that have capes.
I'm not putting that on my mic. I was going to. Man, I thought about it for half a second. But yeah, I got this for... It's huge. Like, look at it compared to my head. Like, it's gigantic.
It's a big
I got it at Spencer's like a year ago. It was on clearance. It was normally like $17, and I got it on clearance for like $4. I was like, no. And they had one Robin, then they had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And I was like, that Robin's coming home with me.
That's sick.
I love Robin.
Spencer's
I like him more than Batman.
Has a dope selection of mugs, but I just can't. I don't drink coffee for one, and for two,
that's tea.
I cannot see myself paying $20 for a cup. Like,
it's rough.
Yeah, like I am. Sorry, you can go.
No, I have a mug out in my cabinet that is Boba Fett's helmet that I found at the Dollar Tree for $1. I am very much a bargain shopper.
Yeah, like I'm in a position where I'm actually pretty well off. Like I'm not like struggling or anything like that, but I still have my tendencies of I'm not paying $10 for a cup.
Right, I get that. I have another mug out there that was a gift. I got to move some shit. It's the Mega Man E-Tank, but it's a mug. It's an E-Tank with a handle.
That's cool.
And my buddy got it for me for my birthday or Christmas because Mega Man's like my favorite franchise ever. So, yeah, he found that and he was like, "Nah, I think Yeti needs this."
You have a Android phone?
Yes.
So we were talking in our group chat about how I love Mega Man NT Warrior. You said you enjoyed the games. That they've actually taken the games and have made a new game, and it's on Windows and Android, and we should play it. I'll
probably check it out.
I'll have to get you the links for it and all that. It's called like Battle Chronos or something like that.
Okay.
But it's really cool.
As long as it's better than, like, Capcom released Puzzle Fighter on phones like 2 years ago, and it was god awful.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
But it was so cool because it was more than Street Fighter. Like, they had all the Capcom characters. And I unlocked Mega Man, and I was like, I'm going to play the fuck out of this game. And I played it for like a week. And then just deleted it. I was like, nah. It's whack.
You're a big puzzle player, aren't you?
I like puzzle games a lot, yeah.
I've never gotten into it. And it's weird because that goes like hand to hand with fighting games. Like, I feel like anyone that likes fighting games, they like puzzle games. And I'm just like, I've never gotten into it.
It's a good relax from being stressed out fighting. Because you're using your brain when you fight somebody in like Street Fighter or KI, but typically you're not. You're using instinct more than anything. Where puzzle games, you're just constantly like firing off what you need to be doing.
Right. I think I just expect too much out of developers.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
I have a funny story real quick. So I've had a little xenomorph. It's been up here for like every episode. I've had it since I was a kid. And this thing today fell off of my shelf and like broke into a whole bunch of pieces. And I was like, these pieces are they're very clean. Like, it's in 4 pieces. It's supposed to do this. It's like a crash test dummy. And you rebuild. I can't do it with like my hands right now, but you build it and put it back onto its legs. And I forget how you do it. I think you squeeze the legs together, and it like shatters. I've had this since I was a child, and didn't know it did this. I thought I broke a 20-year-old toy. Nope, it's supposed to do it.
Jesus.
Yeah. Pokemon cards.
Should we dive into our topic or just kind of like do all our end stuff first?
Let's do our week in pop culture, and then we'll get into the subject.
Alrighty. So what'd you check out or do this week?
So this week was honestly, it was uneventful, but I also found a lot of stuff. My girlfriend, this is her get. This ain't mine. We collect the My Hero Pops. They're out in the living room on a shelf. And she got Masked Midoriya today. She found them for sale on Amazon for $6. Because this is the last line. This is line 3. Line 4 is coming out now, so all of line 3 went on sale. So she grabbed this up. I was at Target, and I lost track of my family because I wandered off because I do that. And my girlfriend found me in the main toy aisles, not over where they have like the adult collectibles, just like in the toy aisles. And they have a Pokemon section in there. And they had, and I did not know he was part of the line, they have Pokemon Pops. Now, I have Bulbasaur right here. So like they've been coming out with these Pokemon Pops for a while now. They're releasing them slowly. Fucking Cubone is in the line.
What?
And yeah, and there was no way I wasn't gonna get Cubone because I love him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look, here's the line in case you wanted to see. And I need that Mr. Mime so bad that it's not even funny. Like, I don't know why there's Mr. Mime, but there is. So those are the things that are typically in my repertoire. Like, I collect Pops. This next one is probably the weirdest impulse buy I've ever had, and it's going to replace this box right here, this graphic novel box. So I'm gonna move that first, so that I can
Look at this.
set it up a little better.
Unveiling on our podcast, guys.
Oh, this is so heavy.
Oh,
Books
boy.
are so heavy.
Oh boy.
All right, Leatherface. Leatherface, you can just go right here. No, go in the box. So I got a Care Bear.
I was expecting so much more. I was expecting so much more. I'm so upset.
They re-released. This is a new line of Care Bears. The box is broken right here. I just noticed. I'm kind of pissed. But ever since I was a kid, my cousin Rick collected these. And when he got too old for them, he gave them all to me. And then when I got too old for them, I gave them to my little sister. Grumpy Bear is my fucking spirit animal. I love him. And I saw him at Walmart today. And I picked him up and I put him in the cart. And the kids are like, "Are you getting that for Ezra?" Who's my 2-year-old. And I was like, "Yes." It's totally for Ezra. It's not for me. But that's going right there.
You know how I feel right now?
Hmm.
You know how, like, when Capcom will tweet, or Ono will tweet, one of the two will tweet, like, big announcements coming this weekend.
Yeah.
And, like, you watch the whole tournament on Twitch, watch all the
It's like Blanca got a new skin.
commercial tournaments, and all the, like, boring Capcom Pro Tour stuff. And then at the very end, they inform you that Blanca got a new costume.
Yeah, and you're like, but
That's what you just did.
it says rest in grump face.
I hate you. I got my daughter
He's going,
one when before she was born. I was like getting all these cool stuffed animals for her. And
yeah.
I got her a Care Bear because my sister was obsessed with Care Bears.
That's the whole line plus Grumpy Bear.
Where's
I'm gonna get-
Lionheart?
That's the Care Bear cousins, Christian.
We need.
They're a whole different thing.
He's cooler.
Yeah, I get that, but
He runs
They
like
also
my
had-
daughter.
they had Cozy Heart Penguin and they had Heavy Heart Elephant. I really liked Care Bears when I was a kid. But I'm probably going to get this one for my 5-year-old. I'm going to get that one for my oldest daughter.
Where are these?
This one should
retailing
probably
at?
get 12.
12. Okay, that's not a bad point.
Yeah. This should go to my 2-year-old son. It's not going to. This one's mine, so I'm going to get him Cheerheart. Or Tenderheart. That's Cheerheart's the rainbow one. Yeah, Grumpy Bear's going right there. There we go. Aren't you so proud?
I missed the graphic novel box.
Here, I'll make it manly. I'll put Leatherface in front of it.
There we go.
No, he's blocking too much. Go up here.
I wish they could
There
get
you-
like a Cabbage Patch Kids like treatment, or what was those gross Patch Kids? The
Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. I wish they could get a treatment like that. Come on, NECA.
Yeah,
You
like
doing
gross.
horror stuff.
That's true. Like gross Care Bears.
Yup.
What would have the same amount of Gore Bears? There it is.
There it is. Gore Bears.
Well, what was your week in pop culture?
Oh shit, dude! I watched.
Can you top Care Bears?
I cannot top Care Bears. I watched 7 and 8 of Tower of Gods. I didn't watch a lot of anime this week.
Yeah.
I got my All Might figure, so
I saw that.
I've now completed all my My Hero Academia toy line. Which is such a weird toy line that's doing it. You know who does their toys, right?
Who?
McFarlane.
Really?
Yeah, that's so strange to me.
That is very weird. That is very, very weird.
Yep. But I've now
I mean,
completed all of them.
They are pretty detailed, so
Yeah.
I guess I get it.
But like, I just wouldn't
almost.
expect it.
I
What other Japanese
sent it to the
companies
group.
does he work with?
couldn't tell you.
Yep.
I really couldn't. I sent it to the group. I almost bought a a Gundam Wing action figure
Yeah.
at Target. I got Cubone instead, so I think that's a fair trade-off. But the only reason I didn't get it, the only Gundam Wing representative they had was Death Scythe, who I do like. If they had Wing Zero or Heavy Arms, I would have got it, like, without even thinking about it. The only downside is they're 25 apiece, and they're only like this big. Like, it's kind of a problem.
What else?
My Iron Giant was only $20.
I'm trying to think. My Power Rangers for the new wave came in, so I got all 4 of the new
Hell
wave ones. So that was Pink
You
Ranger.
just get them all at one time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. Like I got it from Big Bad Toys. I was like, oh, I'll just pre-order it, and like, I did the math.
It kills the hunt.
Doing that costs more money. It kills the hunt. Like, so technically I paid $25 per figure instead of $20 per figure after shipping and everything. And like, it kills my hunt. But I really just wanted my Zeo Ranger, and I wanted to make sure I got him. And for some reason,
I get that.
I wanted to finish my Mighty Morphin set, and Kimberly and Billy were in that, so I had to finish it.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was at Jungle Gyms like a week ago, and they had all 5 Hunter x Hunter Pops. There's technically 6 because Hot Topic has their own Gon, but I don't care about it. But they had all 5 Hunter x Hunter Pops, and I couldn't decide on one, so I got none of them.
What were they charging?
I was like, no. They had a thing going on where it was buy 3 at regular price and get 1 half off.
Jungle Gyms?
But I was good. Yeah.
Why did they have Pops?
They have a very small wall. It's not even one of my walls in my garage. It's a very small wall.
Is that in the kids area?
It's next to it.
Mm.
But they have some decent stuff. Like, they had all those. They had the Fooly Cooly line.
Really?
Yeah, they had a lot of Fantastic Four ones. Because I guarantee nobody goes there for Pops, so they don't get touched. You know, like.
You might have just gave.
But yeah, I couldn't decide.
Hunting spot.
We might have. They don't care if you record there, so we might have to hit Jungle Gyms sometime and just fuck around. I can get some snacks too. So.
Yep, I like Jungle Gyms.
I love Jungle Gyms.
What else did I do? I watched episode 1 of season 2 of Fire Force.
Season 2's out?
Yeah, came out yesterday.
Oh, okay. Alright, I'll check that out tomorrow.
That was pretty good.
I heard the new theme song yesterday, and it's good.
Yep.
It doesn't hit like Theme 1, but Theme 1's special.
And I think that's about it, dude. My week was very boring, I feel like. I don't think I did much. Worked out. Started this vegan diet.
Oh yeah, you did go vegan.
Yep.
I didn't watch much anime either this week. I had to play Mr. Mom. My girlfriend's sick. I put on Tower of Gods. I got about 1.5 episodes in and realized I wasn't watching it because I was doing too much kid wrangling. So I was like, I got to put on something familiar in the background so I can give Tower of Gods a chance. So I just put on Rurouni Kenshin for like 9 or 10 episodes in the background.
Nice.
It holds up, by the way. Holds up.
Before we start our topic, my coworker was watching last week, and he needs to know where to get the Blue's Clues notebook.
Walmart. They have a whole Blue's Clues section right now.
Awesome.
Because Blue's Clues has a reboot show coming out called Blue's Clues and You. And they have plushies and handy-dandy notebooks and all of this shit. Like, it's pretty cool. They have watches. I was like, I mean, I'm not getting my kid a watch. But I kind of want one. I'm like, what time is it? And flip up Blue's head. Like... But yeah, Walmart.
Heck yeah.
You could also get a Care Bear.
Don't get a Care Bear.
What? Grumpy Bear's the best. Why is he a Care Bear?
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
Who let him in?
Tuesday. Tuesday, I sat on fucking Walmart's website and kept refreshing. NECA dropped their Raphael, what's his fucking name?
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones 2-pack movie pack. And, yeah, never got one.
I did that when Amiibo figure fever was like the big deal. And Walmart was like, we're getting exclusive Gold Mario and Silver Mario. And I had them in my cart because you couldn't pre-order them. You had to like wait for the launch at like, I think it was 1 a.m. You had to have them in your cart and ready. And I clicked and I had all my stuff and I put in the wrong zip code on my payment method and had to put it in again. And by the time I put it in again, both Amiibo were gone.
That's something that Nintendo kind of just, they're not doing. Because, like, Kristen, you know, she's huge into Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
They didn't come out with new Animal Crossing amiibos. You can
No.
only get the cards. And
You can get the
it's really
cards,
dumb.
and you can... If you go to Five Below, I can't remember if it's the one in Batavia or the one in Florence, because we went to both recently. They have old... I have one down here. They have old Amiibo Festival ones.
Yeah.
They got them. They got them from Meijer because this is a Meijer sticker, but Five Below has a lot of they buy and like resell things.
Right.
And I got this and I got Rover there, and they think they were $4 a piece. So if you want to get her some, check it Five Below.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I got her, like, 2 of them, but they just, like, they come to your island and just give or something, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never
I'm
understood it.
really butthurt. I'm really butthurt they didn't have KK Slider, but I got Rossetti, who's my favorite character. So.
Hell yeah.
All right, so what's our subject this week, Christian?
So our subject this week is pretty much fun anime stories, our intro to animes.
Our origin story.
Our origin story. Our filler episodes.
Basically. Because we're all working too much right now, so we're just to help people get to know us. We'll just do one of these again.
Yep. So, this is what we're doing this week. Would you like to start us off with one of your awesome stories?
Yeah, I'm gonna lead in with one, because I had anime that I watched that I did not realize were anime at the time. I clearly knew they were different, because they looked different. And those are like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon. Those are the big three. And then when... I guess it had to be... Because Toonami used to be on when I got off of school. It was on from like 5 to 7 p.m.
Yep.
And they made a big deal to be like, these anime from Japan. And Gundam Wing was huge for me. Let me turn off my notifications because I don't know if those are coming through. Gundam Wing was gigantic for me. Because I thought, and I was still dumb, even though they were talking about that it was anime. I thought anime meant giant robot show. Like, that's just what I thought it meant. And I was like, I'm going to watch one of these here, anime. And I adored Gundam Wing from the first episode I watched, and the first episode I watched was not a very good one. It was Sandrock versus somebody, just some fucking robot, and I was just enthralled because like the animation was so good. They would do the thing where they would strike up their beam saber in the water, and all the water around them would go like and like separate from it. It just looked so cool. I'd never seen anything like it, and I was like, I have to watch this every day. And I didn't really understand what was going on in Gundam Wing. I've rewatched it about a year ago. Gundam Wing just doesn't make any sense. So it wasn't my child brain not picking it up. Gundam Wing's just bonkers. It doesn't make a lot of sense at all. But I hold it as the anime that got me into anime, because after that, I realized that's what Pokemon and DBZ and Sailor Moon were, and I started appreciating them differently. Because I was like, oh, Sailor Moon's Power Rangers for girls. And now as an adult, I way prefer Sailor Moon to Power Rangers. Like, but it's the show that actually let me learn what anime was, and started me looking for more. Which meant I watched a lot of mechas that I can't remember the names of because they all kind of blend together now. Besides like Big O, because Big O is amazing. But yeah, that's the big one for me. That's where I would say that's the first time I looked into the Matrix and realized what was going on and what this whole world of anime was. What was that for you?
How old are you?
30. I'll be 31 at the end of the month.
You got a 3-4 years just about on me. I'm 27. So, my introduction to anime was I went to my cousin's house and watched Dragon Ball for the first time.
OG Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z came out dubbed before Dragon Ball, I believe.
It did. It did.
And I thought it was so cool. I didn't have cable, so I didn't know about this awesome world. So on our way home, I get DVDs of Dragon Ball Z. And the reason why I ask you your age is because you probably remember this then. So I watched all my not my DVDs, they were VHSs. Sorry. Not DVDs. I had my VHSs. No, I think it was a DVD actually. Yeah, because I started collecting VHSs.
Were they the ones that if you lined up the spines?
I had the VHSs that did that, but I got that after I got my first set of Dragon Ball Z. I got the first, it was the Raditz Saga. Was my first, and for some reason I got it in DVD. I don't know how I got it in DVD. Probably in a bargain bin at Media Play or something like that. But...
Oh, Media Play! You just took me back so hard!
Oh.
Wow!
Yeah. But I got that. And I watched that whole saga, for months. And then I had my grandma record actual Dragon Ball Z on TV so I could watch them when I would come over to her house on Saturdays. So, what's on TV and what I had on DVD. On DVD, I had the Ocean dub.
Yeah.
On TV, it's the Funimation dub.
Yeah.
Do you remember the difference in voices?
Yes. Yes.
I was like, what the hell am I watching here, and what the hell is this now? So, that was my introduction to Dragon Ball Z, and that this is not just English, and this is not cartoons. These are from a different country, and we're redubbing it over here. So I found out that there is multiple dubs very early, and that was my first introduction. Was I had the Ocean dub where Goku sounded like. I actually liked that voice actor that did Goku. It sounded cool. I can't remember who it was, but it was actually I like that voice. He also did it for Dead Zone. I remember all the dubs for Dead Zone only had his voice for the longest time.
Excuse me.
But yeah, but that's how I found out there's two different companies that made Dragon Ball at one time.
I think I found out about Dragon Ball Z because Cartoon Network was making a big deal out of showing one of the movies. It was the Tree of Might. Yep. I think the third movie. I think it's the third movie. But I remember they were making such a big deal out of it. I remember the commercial. The only thing I remember it was the Toonami boys talking like this, and it just showed Goku doing his back handspring backflips, and then he landed in his freaking Goku pose. And
dude, I remember that.
I was like, "What is that?"
On the tree, him doing the backflips, and then you'd see him fighting everyone, and then
yeah,
yep. I remember that promo so freaking vivid.
And I was like, I've seen that guy in that orange outfit before. I'm gonna check that out. And apparently, Tree of Might's one of the weaker, one of the less popular Dragon Ball films, but I hold it highly because it introduced me to Dragon Ball Z. So
Turtles is actually very loathed, but I mean, I can't say I've ever went back and watched that one. I don't go back and watch that. If I'm gonna go back and watch one, I'll probably watch History of Trunks, which is a really good special Bardock special, or like
Bardock's really good.
I'm trying to think. The movie after Brawley, BoJack Unborn's really good.
BoJack.
Super 17's decent, or Super 13's decent.
Yeah.
And then anything
Super 13
after
you
the
get to
time
see
gap is pretty good.
Super 13 you get to see Goku get punched right in the dick.
Yeah.
13 catches his kick and punches him right in the dick.
Yep.
Clear as day.
Yep.
I was like, good for you, 13.
Oh yeah, and Cooler. Cooler's good. Those are.
Cooler's good. I
don't
never
like
liked
Return. Is that what you're about to say?
No, I didn't like Return, and I didn't like any of. I liked Broly, but I didn't like any of the Broly movies. I thought they were boring.
I liked Second Coming just because I'm a Gohan fan.
Yeah, that was a good Gohan moment, but Super Broly was great.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super Broly. Yeah, that was great.
My dad finally just watched it because I like called him out and like because like he was on my shit and he was like talking about how like Bardock's a bad dad. I was like, they've reconned that. Like he's a good dad actually, you know.
Yeah.
He was like looking at our clips and stuff like that, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" And he didn't know about the new movie, so he went and watched it, and he's like, "That's a good movie. They actually gave him a character. Like he's actually has something." Like...
He's not just bad Goku.
Yeah.
We already got that again with Black, so.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Another show that this is more of a funny memory / story is me and my best friend. I used to stay over at his house every Saturday night, and that's when I think Adult Swim. I don't know if it used to only be on Saturdays. It's on every night now. But I think it used to just be Friday and Saturday, or just Saturday, or something. But I know that's when we got to watch it. And they would always start with a few anime, and then they would show like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and C Lab 2021, and then more anime.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
What?
It started every night with
every
home
night?
movies. Home movies started. Every night.
Movies, yeah.
That was the start.
I just know that this anime I'm about to talk about came on before Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which came on at midnight.
Yep.
I know that.
Aqua Teen came on at midnight.
We were like, everyone in school, Naruto was going on, and Bleach was going on, and everyone was talking about these like crazy. But we got into them late. And there was a new anime that was coming on, and it was showing on Adult Swim. And we're like, dude, it starts this weekend. We can catch it from the beginning and watch it through, so we don't have to do all this makeup and guesswork. So let's get in on the ground floor. And we watched it, and would talk nothing but hype about it. We loved it. Upon reflection, it's a pretty shitty show. That would be Zatch Bell. I don't know.
Was that on Adult Swim?
It was on Adult Swim.
Because I remember
I don't
it being
know
on
why.
Toonami.
It was on Toonami, but they put it on Saturdays because I got to watch it at his house because I only stayed at his house on Saturday. And we would stay up and we'd watch it, and then we'd watch Aqua Teen and a few things after that, and then we'd go to sleep. And I remember we would tell everybody at school, like, you should watch it. It's great. And it just because, like, we were so happy to catch an anime from the beginning. And I can literally... I know Zatch Bell is a puppet. I know there's a spell book. I know he has lightning attacks. That's all I remember. Because, like, I watched it again a couple years ago, and I was like, this is not very good.
I'm just curious if with that show... Were they like just like, alright, let's see if we can just make the dumbest looking main character in the world and like people enjoy it? Because like
the fact whoever put him in a dress is like, that's a problem. Not saying men wearing dresses is a problem, but it does not make your main character look like a badass.
Definitely in, like this came out in what, early 90s or late 90s?
I think in Japan, I think it came out late 90s, but we got it in like 2004.
Yeah. Like, oh boy, Zatch Bell.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was just thinking of funny anime stories, and I just kept going back to Zatch Bell. And I messaged my best friend about it, and I was like, you remember when we used to stay up and watch Zatch Bell? And he was like, yeah, fuck that show. And I was like, yep. Yeah, we're on the same page, brother, don't worry.
So, do you remember the times on how to watch the really good anime? How do you watch the really good anime on Adult Swim?
They're after midnight.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's when Cowboy Bebop came on.
Cowboy Bebop came on at 2. Trigun came on at 2.
Trigun.
Or Trigun came on at 4, dude. Because I remember trying to force myself. I think I've talked about my introduction to Trigun on here, haven't I? Yeah.
I think, not in detail, but I think so.
Yeah, the episode where they do the origin story of the two twins, that was my intro where Knives is killing everyone on the plane, or the spaceship.
Yeah, you're like...
What? Yep, that was my intro to that. It's also how I first watched Evangelion. And
God, I hate Ava so much.
The only way I knew, or the only way I've ever described that show to anyone is by the end song, was Fly Me to the Moon. But there was some chick singing it. And that's the only way I could, like, tell people, like, it's the show where at the very end, they're singing Fly Me to the Moon. Like, that's literally how I would try to describe it to people. I was like, there's mechs in it.
But they're actually angels.
Yeah.
Because reasons. They did make a Funko Pop of an Ava unit, and I do need it. I don't want Shinji, I don't want Asuka, I don't want any of them. But I want an Ava unit.
I have...
Because I think they're dope.
I have Shinji, and I have 02. So the purple one. I have that one. So.
Yeah. That's the one I'm after.
Yep.
They have one now of 02 covered in blood. Too, but it looks cool, but I kind of don't want it up here. Yeah. Like, my kids come out here sometimes. I don't want to explain anything to them. Ava was always. I remember everyone talked about it, and everyone knew I liked mechas a lot because that's kind of all I watched. And they're like, "You should watch Ava. It's great. It's like the best mecha show I've ever seen." And so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And my buddy had the DVDs for it. This was like probably my junior year of high school. Like I watched Ava late, but it's widely considered like a tent pole of anime. Like if there were 4 poles holding up the foundation of anime, like it's widely considered one of them. And I watched it like 6 or 7 episodes, and I watched it like, and now I was finally like, I don't get it. Like I don't like... Shinji's probably the worst main character ever written.
I hate him.
Probably. He's terrible.
Actually, watch the remakes. You might like him a little bit.
I might. But I've watched all that.
And they're different.
I watched the whole series.
They're different.
They're different?
Yeah.
I watched the whole series, and everyone's like, well, there's 2 movies after it, and I was like, okay, I'll watch those 2, because I was like, there's gotta...
that's worth watching. The second one's just
End of Evangelion.
Yeah. The other one's just literally a run through of the show, which is annoying. Which is Death of Evangelion, is what that one's called.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
And I remember I watched both of them because I remember it being just a rehash now. But I watched those, and that got done, and I was like, I don't care. Like I just. So anytime people talk about Ava, I'm just like. I just don't get it. It never clicked for me. I'm like, I think Big O's a way better mecha anime. Like what? I love Big O.
I'm so indifferent about it. Like, I really wanted to see what the original take was supposed to be, because the whole depressed thing wasn't originally how that was supposed to go. So I'm really interested to see how that was supposed to continue. And at the same time, like, I stop at, I consider when the last angel gets killed as my last episode. That's what I consider
Yeah.
is the actual end. Is when he meets the one dude, they become friends. You find out that that dude's an angel. He has to kill that angel, and I consider that end now for me. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I really want more context. Like, I'm more fascinated with it. Like, you remember last year when I went down this rabbit hole of just trying to, like, put pieces together on what this guy was like,
Yeah.
what was going through his brain. Like, I watched all the remakes and all that, and, like, I'm just very fascinated with, like, what it was supposed to go to and what was the thing behind everything. And
I remember that so vividly because you sent me a message at like 11:30 at night,
dude,
and you're like, "Hey, have you ever seen Epic Alien?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck that show." And you were like, "Oh wow, okay."
I was such in a rabbit hole. Like, I was on Reddit. I was listening to 3 or 4 podcasts on it, and like I was listening to people break down scene for scene, and like I was rewatching parts. And I just wanted to like. I needed something to tell me this was the start, this is the end, and now of course I just say this is my last episode, and
Yeah.
like the new ones are kind of cool. I like the new ones. They're more actiony. Where I feel like that one was wanting, like the dude got depressed is the reason behind it. They wanted him to finish. They had their budget was supposed, like everyone thinks it was a budget issue. Supposedly he had the budget for it. They just wanted it done because they knew like this dude's going off the freaking rocker. He's going Lindsay Lohan, freaking just in this so people would, because they enjoyed it. And, like, he just, like, took it away from what it was supposed to be. It was a mech show. And that's what it became, so.
And it became this, like hoity-toity, deep meaning...
Yeah. Metaphor for depression.
Yeah.
And then,
but then Shinji masturbates on Asuka while she's asleep.
Right. Dude, my brother had to rewatch it 3 times, because when he rewatched it with me, and... I was telling him, I was like, dude, how fucked up was it that he just masturbated on her? Like, what the hell was the point of that scene? Like, and he's like, he never masturbated on her. I was like, he fucking rubbed his hand off. Like, I'm such a dirty person. Like, I was like, he masturbated. And he rewatched it, he's like, holy fuck. Like,
I remember somebody broke it down for me and said why he did that, and I was like, can it just be because he's a piece of crap? Because I hate him. Like, I hate Shinji. Like, I think he's like, I literally think he's the worst main character.
And I'm guessing like your friend told you that like, well, he was trying to see if he felt things. I think that's such
something like that.
Like, that's so dumb. Like, that's literally the meaning everyone gets. I'm like, so you're telling me if I go to a hospital and jerk off on some chick, I'm not getting arrested and people's making excuses for me? Like, alright, guess I'll go today. Like, no.
But he's sad.
Yeah. He's trying to see if he feels things. You gotta understand.
He's sad. I was sad too watching it. I don't
I don't know. It's weird.
Just eat some cookies and cream ice cream and
There's still
move on.
Like the end got retconned. So they've like went off into a whole different direction with it. So at the end of the episodes and movies, Shinji's been disappeared for like 5-7 years. You find out that if you control one of the mechs, you stop aging. So there's this time gap. Now everyone hates Shinji because how he's turned the world into what it is today. And him, Asuka, and everyone else that was in mechs and there's a 4th mech person now that is a main character. It's Asuka's best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, and like there's a new part coming out. It was supposed to be last year. Now it's supposed to be this year. And you know what's weird? And I know you're gonna hate this, but do you know what this dude works on, and why he's kept pushing this back? The Japanese version of Godzilla. He is the one that does them. Yep. That's what's been pushing this last movie back, is because he's working on that. So, the franchise that you love the most is done by the franchise that you hate the most.
I love Godzilla so much. I love it so much. I can't.
But he does the Japanese ones. Yep.
Damn it. That just pissed me off so much.
But I'm done talking about that topic. I hate them.
No, you mentioned Bebop in the. I'm trying to remember what the lineup was at 2 in the morning. I know Bebop was at 2, and Dragon was at 4. You said.
And then there was stuff sprinkled in between.
I know Big O was right after Bebop. Yeah. I know it was 2:30. I don't remember the rest. I know Yu Yu Hakusho was in there for a while.
Lupin, I think, was in there.
I think one of the Lupins was in there. It changed a lot, but there were always ones that... Bebop is still on there. Like, it's still there. There's 26 episodes. It's still on there. Bebop, it's never going to go away.
Nope.
It is that good. It's never going to go away. But I remember another one of my friends in high school. He told me about Bebop. And he said I knew it was at this point, but I'd never watched it because I was trying so hard to stay current, which as my current self now, I hate myself because I prefer old anime so much now. Like, I much prefer it. And he was like, in about 2 weeks, the show's going to stop again because they constantly just show it in order. He's like, in about 2 weeks, it's gonna start up again.
Your dad,
and you should watch it.
He was the plug for when shit started and everything.
And I was like, okay, I'll watch Cowboy Bebop. I remember at the end of the first episode not being completely sold, but the next episode I was like, no, okay, I like this. This crew is cool. Like, I was like, I gotta watch it. I've always liked Jet Black the most, though. I feel like he doesn't... He gets a cool story, but I don't feel like he gets as much love as... I mean, it's hard for him to stand out with, like, Spike. Spike has such a big personality. Faye has such a big personality. Ed has such a big personality. And Jet's just kind of like their dad.
And, like, it just shows... They took risk back then. Because, like, Jet is the one that had the most character. Like, he was a retired cop. Like, he has a backstory... Where, like, Spike doesn't.
You immediately you're like, this guy has a robot arm and a cybernetic implant right here. Like, he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
You know, you see him right away, and you're like, this guy's got a story to tell.
Yep. And of course, you get like Spikes, and you get Fays, and you get Eds,
and you get Vicious. Vicious has a really good.
Vicious get a more backstory than Jet did.
He does. Jet gets that, like, one episode. For real. He gets the episode where you find out that he's a cop. Yep. Or was a cop. And then he became a bounty hunter, and you're like, oh. That's all I get? Like, I think I heard that they're trying to give him a little more character in this live-action one that's coming out, but I'm still really worried about that live-action one, so... I'm really worried about it.
I still want
Keanu. Bebop... Keanu would be a good Spike. He's getting a little old.
Yep.
I'm not saying Keanu can't do it because John Wick's amazing.
Yep.
But I mean, he's basically Spike and John Wick. If we're being completely honest.
I've been campaigning Spike or Keanu since like 2009. Like.
Oh shit.
That's my Spike.
Did you have the? I mean, I know you did, but I'm asking for them. The show that while you were watching it, like, even though you watched it currently airing, you were like, this ain't good, but I love it, and you just kept watching it. It's my what I call a potato chip anime, because you just keep going at it. Mine's Yu-Gi-Oh, like through and through. If I put that on right now, I would watch like 10 episodes of it. Like,
you're gonna hate me for mine.
What?
I gotta say it's Pokemon.
Pokemon. I love Pokemon.
Well, see, that's the weird thing is I never got attached to any Pokemon until Charizard, Machamp, and I like Blaziken. Yeah. See,
This is a bootleg.
so like I was never really hooked as a kid on the original OG and all that.
Oh, I loved it. I found it, and I'll talk about my Pokemon story after you tell your story. Yeah. I know you watched Beyblade. Talk about Beyblade. Give me, what is Beyblade? Tell me.
Beyblade is awesome. It is sports anime before we got sports anime, for God's sakes. Like, I'm sorry.
It's probably the most mainstream sport anime that was out there.
Tyson,
For sure.
Tyson is the coolest character. That is your main character that you follow. Now, I will tell you the first part where they'll battle, and then they'll project their monsters, and like their monsters would fight. That crap sucked. So
Yeah.
they kind of recon that after the first season, and then the second season they're like, all right, we're gonna actually put the characters like they're fighting with them, and that's when it got cool. You would see them getting tired because they're like calling out commands. It kind of got more Pokemon feeling with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you would notice them actually running around, and like Beybladers were like, they had certain like personas, and like their Beyblade kind of matched it. You know what I mean? So like everyone was like kind of similar, and then like you had this cool rivalry. I can't remember the dude that was with Tyson. Fuck. But it was literally Goku and Vegeta. And
But with tops.
the Vegeta was even cooler because the Vegeta, he knew he could have beat Tyson. So he'd be like, well, fuck you, I'm going to go play with this team. And then like this new badass team would show up. And he'd be like, well, fuck you, I'm going to go play with them again. Like, he was always going to the better team. And then just end up back with Tyson. And those two would be the ones taking on everyone. But instead of like, alright, we have this rivalry, but I'm not going to sit here and keep fighting with you and be second fiddle to you. I'm going to go be on this team and want to fight you. And that was his whole point. I think it was Kaiba. No, it wasn't Kaiba. That's too simple.
That's Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Hold on. I can tell you in 1 second.
You ever realize in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! That Kaiba just summons 3 blue eyes in one turn?
Yeah.
Like, the show breaks its own rules immediately. Immediately!
It was Kai.
Kai, okay.
Kai was his name. And he was the Vegeta character, dude. He would go train. He would go spar. Like, he literally did where, like, you know how, like, you would, like, see Vegeta, like, while he's training, and he's always just, like, sitting in the rain, just standing there for, like, 40 days or whatnot. Like, he was literally, like, out doing that kind of shit. Like, just with his Beyblade. And it's like...
So, is Tyson just, like, the chosen one or some shit? He's just naturally good at it?
Yeah. Like, he has the grandpa that's a sensei and shit like that. Like,
is this just Yu-Gi-Oh! With tops? Because that's what you're describing.
Hey, Beyblade came out before Yu-Gi-Oh, motherfucker.
It may have, but it's like the same story. Yu-Gi-Oh is trained by his grandpa. He's naturally good. He's got a fucking rich asshole that's his rival.
Well, he had a big brother. He had a big brother that was good at Beyblading. He's like a professional and he's a coach. And that's another thing is like his brother like takes on like at like the last arc. He goes and is the coach for this like elite team that's supposed to be like the new best. And like he steals Kai from Tyson. Like so like everything's just stacked against Tyson always. Beyblade's cool. And I remember like getting all my friends together. I had the Beyblade like arena and I'd be like everyone's gonna have to play.
I can't judge you. I have a whole thing. This is all Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Freaking nerd.
This whole thing is. These are both dual ready, and everything in here is just extra. Yeah, so I can't blame you. Did you ever have a point where... Actually, I'll get into that after. Let me tell you about Pokemon.
Tell me about Pokemon.
Okay. Pokemon. I did not understand. My grandma had a TV guide. Okay, she still gets TV guide. To this day, my grandma still gets TV guide in the mail. I remember I was looking through her TV guide, and there was this big, you'd open it, and this page was like times and dates of shows, and then this whole page over here was this white splash page, and it said Pokemon, but I didn't know that the accent over the E meant I said it that way, so I kept saying Pokemon. And it just had all these Pokemon on it. Pikachu was like this big on there. Like there's no way you would know he was the mascot of this franchise. And I was like, oh, that looks cool, but I didn't pay any attention to it. And like a few months later, everyone, I was in 2nd grade, everyone in my school was talking about this. Boys and girls, everyone was talking about Pokemon. And I was like, what the hell is this? And so my friend David was very into it. And I was embarrassed to admit that I didn't know what it was. So I went to him and I was like, hey, what's Pokemon? And he was like, come, ask your mom if you can come to my house after school. I'll show you. And I get over there, and he pulls out his cards. I need one. I need a card. He pulls out his cards. He's got this whole stack of them. And he goes, these are Pokemon. And it's a card with Diglett on it. So the Diglett is the first Pokemon that I knew by name. And I remember being like, it's a bunch of these? Like, I thought all Pokemon were like Diglett. Like, they were all just different colored Digletts. And I was like, this sounds fucking stupid. And then I started looking through his cards, and I saw there was a whole bunch of things. And he explained it to me, and he said, yeah, you can watch episodes before school if you wake up early. On Channel 11, it was WB where I grew up. Because I didn't have cable. I had like very, very basic channels.
Where'd you grow up?
And Northern Kentucky.
It's WB64, motherfucker.
I had it on 11.
You're a liar. You had it on 64.
I'm dead serious.
You had cable then.
I'm sure it was.
You had cable.
Maybe I did have cable.
Yeah.
I had cable off and on through my childhood, so maybe I did have cable at the time.
Don't pretend to be poor. I knew the poor channels.
I was poor for a long time. I get it. That's the only reason I watched that 70s show. But he told me, like, if you wake up, it was like 6:30 in the morning.
Yep.
You could watch Pokemon before school. And I said, okay. I woke up early anyway. I still do. And I started waking up. I told my dad, like, hey, wake me up when you get up. He got up at like 6 in the morning. He was like, why do you want to get up that early? And I was like, I want to watch TV. He said, okay. And I just started watching Pokemon. And the first episode I saw was the episode where Ash and his Pikachu fight this guy who had a Sandshrew, and he gave it commands with a whip. He would crack this whip, and Sandshrew would do stuff. So Ash couldn't hear him yelling commands, so he had to just act on his feet. And I was like, this is pretty cool, because, like, I mean, truthfully, there's no way that Pikachu should ever be able to hurt Sandshrew, because he's ground type, and he's immune to electric, but cartoons. And so I just remember, like, oh, because he says Sandshrew has an advantage because he's ground type. Not that he's fucking immune like he's supposed to be. But I just remember watching it and being like, oh, this is cool. Like, there's a whole bunch of different monsters and they all do different things. And then all of a sudden, like a couple months later, I was like the king of Pokemon in my elementary school. I had binders of cards. I was the one that everyone traded stuff with for me to get extra shit to trade with other kids. And I had this. It was a big Pokemon binder, and I had every card in it. If I could get first edition, I would. I think the second to last card I got was Charizard. I think the last one I got was Raichu. I eventually broke down and bought that one. I saved lunch money for like 2 weeks and just went to the comic book world and bought it. But Pokemon holds a very special part for me, special spot, because my dad realized hard and fast that this was the thing I was going to be into, and I still am, to his credit. So he took it upon himself to learn. There was only 150 Pokemon at the time. He learned all of them. He learned like types and weaknesses and advantages. He learned the prices of cards and stuff, so I wouldn't get screwed in trades or if I tried to sell things. My dad became like my Pokemon manager, and I was like, "That's a pop." And so like, I'm waiting for one of my kids to get into something so I can do that for them. Like, Dad did it again with Yu-Gi-Oh. He learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh so he could play with me and my friends. Like, my pop was cool. He's a big nerd though. He told me that he played D&D when he was in the army. So like. That's my pop. But yeah, Pokemon means a lot to me. But again, I didn't know it was an anime at the time. But it still was. So influential nonetheless.
Well, I guess. You can continue.
I was just gonna say, did you have a moment? Because I feel like everyone I talk to about anime has this moment where they stop watching anime. Like something happens, or you watch too many bad ones in a row, so you just stop, and you take like a break or whatever. And then there's always like that anime that brings them back in. Do you have anything like that?
I'm gonna pocket that for a second and give you my Pokemon story really quick.
Go for it.
So, I first introduction to Pokemon was waking up at 6 o'clock. My grandpa worked at, he would leave at work at 6. So I enjoyed waking up before he left to sit at the table while he drank his coffee. After he would leave, I would sit there and watch WB cartoons. And I watched the first episode of Pokemon. I never got into Pokemon.
The first one?
Yeah, the first episode. I saw the first episode.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I just didn't intrigue me. I thought the bird at the end was cool. I mean, of course now I like the games and all that, but like it just did not intrigue me. What's that?
I heard they put it on super early in the morning because they didn't think it was going to catch on.
Yeah.
So they just kind of threw it on like a death slot. But then like hordes of children started waking up at 6 in the morning to watch this cartoon.
Yep.
So they're like, we got a Saturday morning this shit.
Yep.
Run this course. Like, get it.
But yeah, so I never got into it, but everyone was addicted to the cards.
For sure.
I
feel like the cards were more popular than the show.
Oh yeah. I was huge into Dragon Ball Z toys. Dragon Ball Z toys cost $7. Pokemon cards costed $3 something for a pack of cards.
Yeah.
That was more convincing to get my parents to buy me a pack of cards than it was to get me Dragon Ball Z cards. Or toys. So, I would tell my parents, get me cards so I could trade them to my friends for Dragon Ball Z toys. Later on, so my mom, I kid you not, she is a religious lady, but she picked and chose what she was religious against what I watched. Pokemon was cool. Dragon Ball was good. I could watch both of them. No big deal. I got super hooked on freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought Dark Magician was so cool. She thought it was demonic. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Got the bad axe on me, so I could not get into Yu-Gi-Oh! So I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! But never got into it. Everyone in school was now hooked on Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I'm still trying to get Dragon Ball Z toys. So how do I get Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards? I can't get Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. No one likes Pokemon anymore. So what do? I ask my friends for their crappy cards, and I get online at the library and print off cards that people wanted. I cut them out, and I glue them over the crappy cards no one wanted, and I trade them to people. 5th grade, I was a genius, dude. I'm telling you. I've been an entrepreneur since I was born.
Wow.
So that is my Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Story of I did it, I couldn't, so I traded for what I wanted.
I remember my Yu-Gi-Oh! Story is a little more wholesome.
Yep.
And it was, we had the anime in America before the card game. Because they showed the anime to make sure that people would like it so they could sell the cards. And I remember me and my friends got hooked on it right away. I saw like the first episode I remember is where Weevil threw the cards into the ocean, which is only like the third or fourth episode. He threw Exodia over the cruise ship. So I got hooked right away, and me and my friends, when I would walk to his house, he lived kind of close to Comic Book World, so we could go there and look at shit. Back then, they didn't plastic wrap all their comics, so you could look through them. You can't look through anything anymore. And we saw in their glass case that they had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and we're like, hell yeah! And we each like bought a pack, so we could look at them at his house. And they were Japanese. That's like how long ago I got them. All the packs were Japanese. So my first Yu-Gi-Oh cards were from Japan, and I think that's super cool.
That was the only Pokemon cards I kept onto, is when I found Japanese ones. I don't know how I was getting my hands on them, but friends would have them, and I'd be like, well, I'm not trading these cards for Dragon Ball. Here you go. You want these? You give me that. And they didn't want them because they had nothing to do with the game or whatnot. I don't even think kids played it.
Yeah.
I think they literally just...
I don't think anyone knew how.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. I've learned as an adult how to play the card game. It's hard.
Dude, I remember people fighting over them. I remember I had a brand new basketball. People want to play my basketball. These two kids were like wanting me to pass the ball back and forth. They're like, hey, I'll trade you my Mew if you pass me that ball. The other one's like, I'll give you this card. And I remember taking the Mew because I knew I could get more for that Mew.
Yeah. But I remember I had...
They got a
before
fight.
I got my big Pokemon... Before I had my big Pokemon binder, I had this little blue one. And I organized them by... There's a little number down in the bottom right corner. And like Alakazam was like 0001. So that's the order that I put them in the binder. Which made it really boring because all your holographics were at the front and all your item cards were at the back. But I had it outside to show my friends, and when I left it on my back porch. I lived in an apartment complex, and I had this like fenced door that you could lock, and I had it back there, and we were playing. We had like a Sandlot baseball diamond out back, and we were playing there, and all of a sudden we lost track of one of the kids, and I was like, I'm gonna go in my house. I'm gonna get a drink because I live right there, and they're like, okay. And I go in my backyard to go in my house, and he's like fiddling through my binder trying to take my cards.
What?
And I remember I just laid him out like in my backyard, and my mom was home and heard the hullabaloo in the backyard, and she's like, Brandon John, what are you doing? And I was like, you tried to take my Blastoise. And Mom was like, you get the fuck out of here! Like, immediately turned on this other kid. I was like, thanks, Mom.
Did you have the Pokédex binder?
No, I did not.
Dude, my friend had that, and it was so cool. That was the only thing I
wanted it. I wanted it, and I wanted the dual disc for Yu-Gi-Oh! That didn't do a damn thing. Like, but your...
I was
gonna say? Your Salvation anime that got you back into anime. Do you have anyone like that?
So I guess I'll start with how I got to this point and how I got back to there. So
okay,
it was about 2009, 2010 is when it was really hard to get anime. I remember like Toonami just went by.
It just disappeared.
Adult Swim started doing more original shows. So like
that's when you started getting like Metalocalypse and stuff.
Yeah, you never had like they had Squidbillies and all that. So like they stopped showing anime.
Oh god.
So like, and this is before kids when you had anime everywhere and you were cool to watch anime like today. Where like
you watched what was on TV.
Yeah. So mine and my brother's only way to watch anime was to walk up to Blockbuster because we lived in Orleans and we went to 42 Blockbuster. So that's a good like 45-minute walk, just about to walk up there.
That's a long walk.
Yep. And we would go through the bargain bins after cutting grass or what's it called? Cutting grass and shoveling snow or whatever was going on. Whatever
like
we can make
landscaping.
money. Yeah, whatever we can make money. So, and then Blockbuster slowly went out of business. I found girls more fun, and girls didn't think it was
Yeah.
cool to watch anime. Um, so,
Especially back then.
yeah, so, like, I want to say that's when I got into Berserk. I finished Berserk back then, and then I kind of slowly, stopped watching anime. And I want to say it was 2012. I finally got Netflix, and I've seen this show before, but I never actually watched it from start to finish. But I watched Gungrave. And
Gungrave's good.
Gungrave, I watched it from start to finish, and that's what brought me into watching Trigun from start to finish. Because, like, when Netflix first came out, they had a phenomenal, selection of anime. Like, when they first started.
Netflix came out?
Yeah, they had the Street Fighter animated series. If you have not seen that, it is so good.
It's great.
They had Trigun. They literally had all kinds of great freaking anime to watch. And I watched Trigun start to finish. I watched a bunch of other ones. But that was when I got back into anime. So I had like a year gap. 2 years.
Yeah. My gap was actually... It was probably about 3 years. It was pretty significant. I was very big into anime. Early in life, didn't know it was anime. We covered that. In high school, I was very much aware that it was anime. But it was kind of like... I talked to it with my circle of friends, but it was very much like a dirty secret you had at the time. And I graduated, and from graduation until about maybe the age of like 22, I watched a lot of those are my stony years, where I just work. I would get home, I'd get really high, I'd eat too much, and I'd sit and watch anime. That's all I would do. And then something happened. I guess I realized I was just watching anime. I was able to watch streaming sites back then, but then like I would also bargain hunt. And I remember I realized I was just watching. I wasn't absorbing anything I was watching. I was like, I could be watching way better things than this. And that's when I started watching like real shows like Breaking Bad and all the things you probably should watch, And I took a break for like 3 years. I had always heard of Death Note and had not watched it. And suddenly popped up on Netflix. And I was like, I read the synopsis, I heard the theme song, because Netflix, if you just left it highlighted, it would just play the theme song over and over. And I was like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to give this a shot. I started watching it. At the time, my job was Monday through Thursday. It was probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And I started watching it. And I just kept watching it. My job at the time was 5 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. And I was just watching Death Note. I realized I was so enthralled and so like sucked into everything that was going on. And all of a sudden, my alarm for work went off. And I looked over at my alarm and I said, oh no. Because I had just stayed up all night. I had like 4 episodes of Death Note left to watch. So I got dressed. I went to work. I was dead tired. I had 10 hours of work. I got done. I went home. I watched those last 4 episodes. And then I just zonked. I don't even think I ate dinner. I just slept until my next work day. So Death Note really brought me back in. And then I started watching things like Brotherhood. I started watching... there was another really big one. I can't remember what it was. But I just started watching all these things. I would go to people like, what do you recommend? And whatever they told me, I'd go check it out. I probably wouldn't watch the whole thing, but I'd go check it out, you know.
I just filled another one of the gaps. You just filled it for us. OG Full Metal was in that that anime block.
You're right.
Yep.
Which at the time was great, and then now you watch Brotherhood and you're like, ooh. Like,
yep.
You were talking about going to Blockbuster and renting and or buying anime. When they first started renting anime, even if it was Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, if it was DVD or VHS, it would be this huge box, and it only cost $1 more to rent that than a movie. So I was just like, I'm going to get my money's worth. And if my dad went to rent a movie, I would go with him. I'd take my allowance. I'd rent an anime series. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was anime. I would just rent it and watch it. And the only really good memories I have of that time, that's where I found Rurouni Kenshin, because I found the first season on DVD, or the first half of the first season, or whatever. And that's where I found... I need to watch it as an adult. It's on Funimation. I have it in my queue. And it's called The Record of Lodoss War. And I remember it being so goddamn good. I know I rented it more than once, but this is pre-pot smoking days, so I don't remember a lot of it. So I'm taking it upon myself to rewatch it as an adult. And it's an anime from like mid-90s maybe. Record of Lodoss, Lodoss, War.
I will adding it to my list.
I just remember it being so friggin' good. But I have one more, because you said media play earlier, and when you said media play, the memory of this it came at me like a freight train. You said the bargain bins at media play. When Christian says that, he's not playing. It was like a chain link circle that they just chucked DVDs into. Yep. there was no rhyme or reason. It had a sign sticking up out of the middle of it with a square on it, and it said like $7 or $10, and everything in there was just this price. And I used to dig through them and find any anime I could and buy them. Sometimes I'd get hits. I found the first half of the first season of Big O in one of those for like $6.
Really?
And that's a fantastic anime. I still have it. It's like, I think it's down there. But then you're gonna have to bring up a picture of this and put it up on screen so people can see it. It's a little NSFW, but it's not that bad. And it is. Can you see this? How it's spelled?
Oh, I thought. I was searching stuff. Hold on, I'm coming back.
You're good. It's called Grenadier.
Search that.
And yeah, and bring up just the first image you see, and you'll see what I bought.
It's coming. Grenadier.
It might be A. Yeah, it's Grene or Grenadier. I can't remember which one. Grenadier.
It's bringing up a Jeep.
Okay.
I put up anime. Ooh. I found it. Sexy.
Is it, yep, there it is. That's all I had to say. I found that, and I remember being like, this is the only anime in this bargain bin. And it was it's 26 episodes, I think. And it was the whole 26 episodes, and it was like $8. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this, because it's the only anime I found in this. I'm not into the like super fan servicey shows. I'm usually not. But I was like, I'm going to buy this. But I can't let this be the only thing I buy, because I don't want the guy at Media Play to think that this is what I buy. So I went and bought like 2 other regular ass movies. And took them up there. I had like regular movie, and then Grenadier, and then another regular movie, and just set them on the counter. And he booped the first movie, and then Grenadier's cover's just sitting there, and he goes, boop, like clearly judged me, and I was like, and then it turned out to be an alright anime. It's just a gunslinger anime, but it's got a lot of titties. So they keep bullets in their cleavage, and the bullets fly out, and they go like, and just catch them. Like it's one of those. Like,
you know, Media Player was the first place that advertised anime.
It really did.
Because if I remember, they had a Dragon Ball section, and that's where I got my wallet. I had a Gohan wallet, and I got it from the Media Player. And like they actually had you couldn't go anywhere and just find like an anime section. You would
it was always lumped into cartoons.
Yeah, You go look through the cartoons. All right, Looney Tunes, this, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory. Oh, Dragon Ball. Full Metal Alchemist. You know, like, and
it was very much mixed into cartoon. Yeah. But now even Walmart has. They don't know it very well, but they even have a anime section.
Yeah.
But I sent a video to the group. I sent a video to the group, and the sign says anime, and it has a picture of Samurai Jack and Legend of Korra.
Yep. Well, no, in your case, whatever Walmart that was, they actually put the anime right there next to that sign. At Florence, have you been to Florence Walmart recently?
Not in a long time,
They
no.
have that anime sign, right, that has the same pictures. You look on both sides of that thing, no anime. You go over here to the kids' little, like, kiosk thing. Right there's a full shelf of anime. It's like, we have the anime over here, but everything's here. Why?
That's the one I go to is Aurora, Indiana. It's the closest one to me where I live, so... which surprised me that they even have anime at that friggin' Walmart.
Jesus, that's right. You're in Harrison?
Yeah. I'm in Harrison, yeah.
Damn, that is the closest Walmart to you.
Coleraine, I'm literally right in the middle of the Coleraine and the Aurora one.
Coleraine and Chevy has a Sam's Club, not a Walmart. Damn, dude. Sucks. Aurora Walmart was where I got my VHSs. I lived in Tuscany Bay Apartments. There's apartments right next to that Walmart.
So you could just walk over to the Walmart?
Yep, and that's where I got my VHSs. I used to take people's trash out around the complex because, like, there was, like, a single dumpster and, like, no one wanted to walk their trash there. I found this out because my parents hated doing it. So I was like, I could charge $5. I will walk there, or $1. I think it was probably $1. I would walk people's trash. I would just go knock on doors. Hey, do you have trash to take to the dumpster? I'll take it for you for $1. And I would walk up to Walmart, go get my VHSs, go get my Dragon Ball Z toys. That's how I would do everything. Yep.
That's slick. I used to do yard work for my grandparents or the old people that lived across the street from my grandparents, and they would overpay me. They would give me like $20 to do their whole yard, and they had like a postage stamp yard. And whenever I would go to the store, like with my dad would be like, "It's your money. You can buy whatever you want as long as like it's not like sexual, because your mom will take it." And so he didn't care. And so whatever I wanted to buy, I could just buy. But like, it's such a crazy feeling thinking like I used to have to work so hard to get like $20 to go get like 2 action figures. And today I impulse bought a Care Bear for $12.
So, I hate you. I don't want to segue that way. So, I'm going to change it. So, you were talking earlier about how you had your small group of anime friends.
Yes.
Our buddy Anubis is not here today. But I would like to talk about our weird anime friend that could not keep it in the closet with us. That was sadly Anubis, who I would ignore in school because he would come up to me and want to talk about some anime music video he saw the night before. We lived like...
You're like, shh.
Yeah, I lived here. There was a hill, and he lived right behind that hill. We could literally just walk over the hill to each other. So, like, that was our distance. And there was our safety net of where we could talk anime. That asshole wanted to come into school being the weirdo that liked anime.
I got lucky. My best friend Gary, we would watch it. He's the one I watch Zatch Bell with. And he also, Yu Yu Hakusho is his top anime. It's my second. It's his number one. And he got me into it. Because he's like, hey, I've been watching this for like 10 episodes, and I think you should check it out. And I did, and fucking the rest is history. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho's... It might be the most, like, second most important behind Gundam Wing for actually getting me into anime. Yu Yu Hakusho is the first, like, real long anime that I was just into. Like, I just couldn't stop watching it. Yeah, I owe G that he got me into Yu Yu Hakusho. He was talking to me about it like 2 days ago. He's like, I'm watching it again, sub this time, and I'm like, all right. It's like your 8th time watching through this whole show, buddy.
Well, let's see here. 2008, so it's been like 12 years. Brandon's been campaigning Bleach this entire time. Yep.
2008 is when I graduated.
Yep. Still to this day, he is still campaigning Bleach.
Is that when it ended or something? Like,
I don't remember.
or is that when he found it?
I just know, like, that's like the earliest I can remember him being in love and just nonstop watching those. Like, he was the dude that nonstop watched anime fight music videos. Where they would take some screamo band or they would take some, like, emo band and they would put that over the fight scenes and then speed up the fight scenes a little bit and, like, throw that on YouTube. He was obsessed with it.
It's a fight scene between Naruto and Sasuke with Last Resort by Papa Roach playing in the background. Yes. I know that all too well.
He was the one that literally watched those nonstop. Where I'd be like, "Let's actually watch it." He'd be like, "But dude, we could watch the music video," and it would cut up like 100 episodes into like 2 minutes. And I'd be like, "No, it's spoiling too much for me."
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I got these down here. Hold on. I put these up front so I'd remember. You remember this shit? Remember these?
I have all of them.
Is that what I was talking? Yeah.
The worst.
This is what I was talking about.
The worst freaking collection ever.
It's really bad. I'm missing a disc. It's real bad.
They're like,
but I have it because it's Cell Saga.
I'm pretty sure they're stuck in 4.3.
I think it is 4.3.
Yeah. Yep.
It's bad. It's really bad.
I feel like that's why the 2019 like animes that came out is why they're so like deep to our hearts.
I didn't know that I had this. I didn't know I had Openly down here. Have you ever watched this?
No.
It's 13 episodes. That's your homework.
Alright,
there it is.
I'll watch that. But I feel like that's why like all our stories that we have on just like hunting anime and how to find it and stuff like that is why we value... It
was hard back in the day.
Dude, is why we valued like the last year's anime that came out. Because there was like so many awesome bangers. And like...
Yeah.
Like, think about how we would go to bargain bins and like I said, I found Berserk. But think about how many other animes I bought that same day that were just these shitty animes that I would never ever remember or talk about. Like, and like to think about a year last year that was just like,
for every Ranma 1/2 I would find on VHS, I'd also find a Samurai Pizza Cats. Like, which I like Samurai Pizza Cats. Let me be real about that, but it's bad. Yeah. It's real bad, but I like it. God, I didn't know this was an anime, but I used to watch Astro Boy at like 5 in the morning on Cartoon Network. I'm pretty sure. It might have been Sci-Fi, but I could only watch it at Grandma's house. I know that. She had cable.
Astro Boy was like on everything. Like I can't.
It was in syndication.
On the station that it was on.
Yeah, it was completely in syndication. It's Osamu Tezuka. He like wrote it in the 50s.
Yep.
Like, and then it was an anime in the 60s, right alongside Speed Racer, which is on Funimation now.
Really?
I'm gonna watch it with my boy. I'm watching it with my boy.
Did you ever watch Next Generation?
I watched parts of it, and I do like it. I could not figure out what the time slot was. And now I need to go back and rewatch it.
Dude,
so.
I was a fan of it, and which is weird, because I hated that 3D models when that all started, and that hype, and I'm still not a fan of it. I won't watch the Shaolin Showdown remake, or like sequel. It's a sequel, I think, to the original.
Yeah.
Just because half the show is in the 3D shit. When they would do the challenge, did you ever watch Shaolin Showdown?
Parts of it.
So they would fight for weapons, right? And when they would do, and then this new season when they fight for those weapons, that's all in 3D. and I don't like that.
Hmm.
So I've still not
Yeah.
watched that because of that. And I just never got into it. But the Next Generation, I love that story. It's so freaking good,
Yeah.
dude. Like, it's really good.
They have Speed Racer Pops, and it's literally just Go Hibiki and Racer X, and that's the whole line. And I need it. I need them. I don't know why they didn't make Spritle and Chim Chim like a 2-pack. I want it, but it's Go Hibiki and Racer X, and I need them.
I think that's what I'm watching this week. I'm going to watch Next Generation all the way through. Because I think it's all the...
You gotta watch Elfen Lied.
Yeah, I do need to watch that. I'll add that to my list here. Elfen Lied.
Just because I can't wait for you to watch this. After the first episode, you message me and you're like, "What the fuck you got me watching?" It's not hentai.
Is it
It looks like it. It's not
Lied?
hentai.
Elfen Lied?
Lied. It's spelled lied, but it's pronounced lead because it's German.
So, thank you at least this time for a warning. Because I started Beastars with my whole family, just chilling. So fuck you for that one, you know.
I still wouldn't watch it with kids, but it's not hentai. So
Yeah. So thanks for the warning this time. I appreciate that.
hey, I got you. But we got a long work week ahead of us, brother. So
Yeah. That's why I was starting to wrap it up with that 2019, how special it was, and how it gave us all these memories and made us old men.
yeah, I did love talking about all these old anime memories, and I'm sure some will pop up. If you think of any throughout the weeks or whatever, write them down. We might do another one of these,
Yes.
especially if we can get Anubis on here to talk about some of his. So.
Our guest star. I'm not even calling him a host anymore. He's a guest star for now on.
I'm gonna try to get G over here. We might have to do an episode on a Saturday. I'll try to get G over here and see if he can remember anything.
He got Discord?
He's got a way better memory than I
Tell
did.
him to get on Discord.
He might.
We can literally
He
do
might.
it.
I'll let him.
That'll be cool. What I wanted to say, that's another thing about 2019. I just want to say it really quick, is I can now say these words and they actually mean something. Back in my day, I could say those words with it, you know? We didn't have this
It
kind of
feels good.
access to content like this.
It feels good.
Yep, so, I mean, it's a great time to
Yeah,
love
you would
anime.
literally just turn on TV,
Yep.
and if it was some bullshit show like fucking Zatch Bell, you're just like, I guess I'm watching this because I want to watch anime. Like,
Dude, check Messenger right after this. I'm going to search this anime. It's something that Disney bought to replace when Beyblade ended. I'm going to find it.
oh god,
It's about marbles.
Bakugan.
I don't think it's Bakugan. That's not
Okay,
it.
I
It's-
remember Bakugan was like marbles.
It's Marble Shooters. I will
I can-
find this and I will send it to you.
Okay,
And for
wrap
anyone
this
that's
up.
listening, I will. Why Beastars show up when I search for it?
because it's the best. I want a Lego Sheep Pop so bad. They don't make them yet. But I got Grumpy Bear.
But alright, guys,
I'm gonna
thanks
pet him.
for listening to episode 9. Make sure to check out all our other episodes on YouTube, Spotify, blah blah blah. Episode 8 episode 7 or 8 just dropped on
7.
YouTube and Spotify at the beginning of this show. So make sure to go check that out and have a good night. Thank you guys.
Peace.